Alexander picks up his royal insignia ring from the beach. Alexander pushes the plank to one side. A box has been partially buried under sand. Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it is.
Hello, I will be right up. Now.
Good day, merchant. Can you tell me what land this is?
Why, certainly. This is the Isle of the Crown, the main isle of the land of the Green Isles.
Thank the fates! I knew I was close when we sank, but I dared not hope. Tell me, how fares your Princess Cassima?
The princess? She is well enough, I suppose.
Is she near?
The castle of the Crown on the hill, sir. And good luck.
What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is a big question, young man. Perhaps you will be so kind as to first tell me who you are and what exactly you want to know.
My name is Alexander. You said that this is the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever else you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
This island is called the Isle of the Crown because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands: the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
Yeah, what do you want?
Excuse me. My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside. What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Tell me more about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen, they served the islands, not the other way around, always thinking about the people. Ah, they are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see 'em, that is.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next. Of course, that's just silly talk.
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you. Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
Good day. Alexander takes a mint.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
Would you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
Thank you. You are very kind, and I'll remember about the map.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Master, I was observing in the village as you wished, and I saw a manger. I don't know, danger? No, a stranger there. He says, he's Prince Blamentander of Slaventry.
You fool! You've been eating those mints again! I ordered you to stop that!
Yes, master.
Now, who did this stranger say he was?
Prince Salamander of Pedantry, I think.
You idiot! Are you trying to tell me that Prince Alexander of Daventry is here? Confound it! That's the young man Cassima met at Mordak's castle. The timing could not be worse. Tell me, what is he doing?
He was in the pawn shop buying a magic smap.
Magic smap? What is this magic smap?
With the smap, he can travel to other islands, master.
That's a map, you dolt! Oh, drat it all! I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar! I can't have him stirring things up! Not now! Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
I'm interested in that mechanical nightingale on the counter.
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value, worth only a copper or two. They are handy items nonetheless.
I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all?
Most interesting. I have never seen a Daventry coin before, but it is copper genuine enough. I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there.
Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection.
That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very well. Your coin is well spent. Remember, this is a pawn shop. I am always willing to take back my own goods in trade.
I'll remember. Thank you.
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that the pawn shop owner dumped into the pot. Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb. Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor. For a moment he can smell nothing else. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander hears someone coming.
"5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man," said he, "with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If mad it be, then mad it dies." Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tom Troll I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grovenor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me. Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Old Bill Batter, never fatter, vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
Alexander did it! He's fooled the guards! Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Your candy dish is empty.
I am sorry, sir, but I have no more mints. Somebody has eaten them all.
Well, get some more then.
I fear that is impossible. Without the ferry, I can no longer get imports from the other islands, and we do not grow mint extract on the Isle of the Crown.
Oh, I hate not getting what I want.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looks closely at the items on the counter to make his selection.
I'll take the flute.
The flute? Very good, Prince Alex. May its music always be sweet. Feel free to trade it back at any time.
Thank you.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
Ye gads! Is that cold?
The flute feels light and comfortable in Alexander.
May I have this dance?
Oh, my!
Alexander stops playing the flute, but the wallflowers and snapdragons continue to dance, caught up in the music and oblivious to everything around them. The dancing wallflowers are oblivious to Alexander. While the wallflowers dance, Alexander snatches the hole in the wall.
Checkmate! Only chess pieces allowed in chessboard land. That's right. Humans aren't allowed in and never will be. Stay out!
I must insist, Your Highness. I shall send a lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
And I suppose you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
Who isn't queen of this isle? The lump of coal is in my possession. Therefore I shall do as I please with it. Besides, there's nothing wrong with that spoiled egg.
The egg, though delightfully spoiled, is not nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know it. Your Highness always got to carry the singing stone. It's not fair that you get the coal, too.
That doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I should get to keep the coal just because my stone was stolen.
It wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you settle an argument for us?
Which of us should get to carry the coal and which the egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Quiet, Your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
I'm sorry, Your Majesties. I'm partial to both red and white, but I'm afraid that I don't know how to solve your problem. One of you will just have to be gracious and allow the other the lump of coal.
What a ridiculously stupid idea!
Quite ludicrous.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. Obviously a man of high intelligence. The lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway. Black and red are imperial colors.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Red does not go with anything, being much too self-conscious. White is the perfect accompaniment to any color.
Alexander picks up the Red Queen's scarf. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Hoping to cool down the boiling pond, Alexander throws in a head of iceberg lettuce. The pond's water slowly stops boiling, cooled by the ice. It still looks hot, but bearable. Alexander decides to brave the steaming pond.
Ouch! Ow! Ooh, 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 ouch!
The pond is no longer boiling, but it's hardly bathwater. As Alexander picks up the brick.
You aren't going to listen to me, are you? Well, we'll just see about that.
That's odd. The gardener just disappeared. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looks closely at the items on the counter to make his selection.
I believe I'll take the tinderbox.
Very good, Prince Alex. Enjoy your tinderbox and bring it back anytime.
Thank you.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer. Huge blocks of stone erupt from the granite cliffs. Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome. The steps cannot be moved any further backwards or forwards. Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff. The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs. Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff. The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs. Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff. The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs. Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff. The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs. Alexander finds himself, finally, at the top of the cliffs. Exhausted, he steps over the lip of the plateau and stands.
Why do you make such an effort to climb the cliffs, young man? The winged ones who live on this island have the power of flight. You could have it too, if you'd only eat a berry from this magical flying nightshade bush. See? The sweet berries will make you float like a petal on the wind. try some. Come, stranger, trust me. Think of what I'm offering you. Young man, you offend me. I try to help you and you insist on being rude. All right then, stay tied to the ground like a load of lead. See if I care. You human.
How odd. The old woman just disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Perhaps those berries are even more powerful than she led Alexander to believe. Alexander crawls through the small opening in the rock. Alexander finds himself in a dark cave. Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it. Alexander crawls through the opening in the rock. The lighting in this part of the cave is better. Alexander extinguishes the candle's flame and places it back in his pack. Alexander takes a few leaves from the plant. As he does so, a strong smell of peppermint is released. Ah! Alexander crawls back into the first room of the cave. Alexander can't see a thing. Alexander crawls back through the passage to the top of the cliffs.
Look, an intruder! Hold! How did you get up here, human?
I climbed the cliffs.
That is not possible. No one has solved the cliffs of logic in several centuries, and if the cliffs were to be solved, it would certainly not be by a human.
I didn't mean to trespass. I only wanted to visit this beautiful island.
No visitors have been welcome on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain in years. Not since the Red and White Queens had spies in the guise of friendly visitors steal our island's sacred golden fleece. But we will not display such foolish trust again. You will have to answer to Lord Azure and Lady Ariel. They will determine what will be done with you. I can assure you, it will not be pleasant.
With what trickery did you master the cliffs of logic and reach the city of the Winged Ones?
Only the magic of clear thought, my lord. I meant no harm.
The cliffs of logic. It is the sacred oracle's prophecy, Azure.
Yes, Ariel. It is lucky for you, human, that climbing the cliffs of logic is part of a prophecy that I cannot ignore. We have just been ordered by Wazir Al-Hazred himself to dispose of any strangers that might land on our fair isle. But the prophecy would have a different fate befall you.
The prophecy predicts that whosoever climbs the cliffs of logic will defeat the Minotaur. The Minotaur has violated our sacred catacombs and eats our young in sacrifice. Our own daughter, Lady Celeste, was taken there only this morning as his most recently demanded offering.
A dilemma, then. Whom shall I obey in regards to your fate, the oracle or the crown? But since Al-Hazred did not dictate how I was to dispose of intruders, and since you cannot possibly survive the catacombs, your imprisonment there should serve both purposes quite admirably.
I will not resist you in this, my lord. I shall do my best to save your daughter.
First, I must tell you that the catacombs are a labyrinth of rooms, a place of exceeding danger. You will need many tools and clear wits to survive it.
I am ready.
Very well. My guards will take you there now. You seem courageous enough, but the catacombs will determine how brave you really are.
Why did you tell Lord Azure you were ready and willing to face the catacombs? No one is ever ready, and only a fool could be willing.
And you are far wiser, I suppose, to leave a maiden to die, to not fight this plague on your own people?
Bravery and suicide are two different things, human. You will have a chance to renounce your choice soon enough, when you lay trembling under the Minotaur's hooves.
We shall see. Thanks for the escort.
We only escort you to your death. May the fates make it quick so that you do not have to scream long.
The catacomb's entrance door is locked from the outside by the Winged One's guards. It seems that leaving the catacombs by that door is not an option. Alexander takes the shield from the wall. It's a trap. The doors have sealed Alexander inside. And the ceiling is coming down. In a desperate move, Alexander throws a brick into the grinding gears. The brick is caught between two cogs. The gears shriek and shudder. The mechanism grinds to a halt. The ceiling is stuck. The trap is sprung.
Sounds! A trap floor!
Alexander seems to have fallen to a lower level of the catacombs. Wherever he is, the place sure is dark. Alexander can't even see his hand in front of his face. Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
Aha! So that's why it's dark in here. A torch is out.
Alexander lights the extinguished torch and puts his tinderbox away. Alexander hears the sound of a wild beast again, this time so loud that the creature itself seems to be in the same room with him. The noises are coming from the other side of the east wall. Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the east wall. The hole in the wall trembles slightly with dread at the clammy feeling of the stones. Alexander peers through the hole in the wall and sees just another room in the catacombs. Aha! Not just another room at all. So that's why Alexander couldn't find the Minotaur's lair. At least Alexander now knows the lair exists, somewhere in the maze on the other side of this wall. While Alexander contemplates what he's just seen, the hole in the wall, frightened by the Minotaur, makes a run for it. Alexander hopes the little creature finds its way home to the Isle of Wonder.
This tapestry looks familiar. Now let's see. I don't feel anything. a hidden latch.
Alexander triggers the little latch. A secret door rolls open.
No! I beg of you! Please don't hurt me!
Your struggles are useless.
It's the Minotaur, and he's struggling with a Winged One's girl. She must be Lady Celeste. Alexander steps further into the room. The movement catches Lady Celeste's eye. She screams for help.
You there! Human! Help me! Help!
Who dares enter my lair?
I ask you to release your captive or suffer the consequences.
Never. You die, human.
As the Minotaur advances in attack, Alexander slowly backs away. Until he can back away no more.
Now where to, little man?
Alexander, his back inches from the fiery pit, tempts the Minotaur with the Red Queen's scarf.
Look here, you bully! Nice, bright red.
Red. Now you die!
The Minotaur drops from sight amidst the consuming flames. Slowly, his scream fades as well.
Have you been harmed, Lady Celeste? Are you all right?
No, I am not all right. I assume you do not intend to leave me tied up on this vile monstrosity.
Of course not. Sorry. Let's see. If you'll give me a moment, I'll have these untied in no time.
I can't wait that long. Look, I wear a small dagger just inside my belt. It should be enough to cut the rope.
Oh, all right. I've got it, Lady Celeste. Here we go.
Thank you. You may keep the dagger as a gift for saving my life.
That's very generous.
Forget it. Do you mind if we just get out of here now?
The Winged One's guards, bored with the pointless waiting, are startled by the sound of rock moving against rock.
Lady Celeste, bide thee well.
I'm quite well, thanks to the bravery of a mere human. So much for your superior intellects.
Yes, milady.
Now bring him along. I'm going home.
I see you have proven yourself the hero of the prophecy. Well, I am expected to thank you for saving my daughter's life, so I thank you. I am obliged to thank you for the restoration of our sacred catacombs. It means much to our people. We have already begun the process of clearing the deadly traps from its rooms. It is also my duty to grant you a visit with the Oracle, so this I do. I will grant you the freedom to leave here unharmed, despite my orders to the contrary from the Crown. But there, my obligations to you end. I have no love for Alhazred, but he is my liege, and if Princess Cassima trusts him and wishes to wed him, my guards will take you to the Oracle now. When your time with her is through, I want you to leave the City of the Winged Ones and never return. I don't know who you are or what you want here, but I will not disobey my crown further.
I thank you, Lord Azure. I will respect your wishes.
Hail to thee, great oracle. Lord Azure sends you this wingless mail. It appears that he solved the cliffs of logic and...
Defeated the Minotaur in his lair. So I have seen. So this is the one that haunts my pool of late. Welcome, young seeker. What knowledge do you desire?
Princess Cassima, whatever you can tell me, great oracle.
Ah, of course, the princess. That explains my images. Let us see what we can see. I see a maiden, lovely and pure, but surrounded by evil. She is a rose set amidst bitter thorns. It is her fate to be the pawn of dark powers, and yours to try to redeem her.
How? How do I redeem her?
Fate is not like the cut of a blade, young one, but rather like the myriad of paths formed when a hammer cracks ice. I will tell you what I can, but what will actually come to pass is up to you. I see that any attempt to reach the girl will force you into battle, a struggle against a dark force. If you lose, your life will be forfeit.
Who must I fight?
A great darkness surrounds your adversary, preventing me from seeing clearly. I can only make out the shape of a black cloak. But before this final struggle, I see an infiltration, a dangerous game of hide-and-seek in corridors filled with enemies. The risks are high, but it is the only way to reach the one you seek. There is more than one way into this place. Your choice will dictate much.
What else do you see, mighty oracle?
Oh, such pain. I see two restless spirits crying out for revenge. These shades could help you destroy the dark force if they were to be brought back from their spiritual form. Yet this is only one possible path to your destiny. I'm afraid this is getting beyond me. I know very little about the afterlife. I can only advise getting counsel from the druids. Be warned. The druids are reclusive and dangerous. They might aid you, or they might destroy you. Like their island, the druids' nature is hidden in the mists. There is nothing more I can do for you, except to give you this. It is water from the sacred pool. That and my blessing go with you.
Thank you, great oracle.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander takes the scythe. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander decides to pass through the gate, preparing the shield just in case. The magic arrow completely shatters the shield. Good thing the arrow didn't hit Alexander. Alexander takes a magnificent white rose from the rose hedges. Alexander walks forward to step onto the gazebo. But the rose hedges on either side of the path, sensing an intruder's presence, reach out their vines and blend together. The path is blocked. Alexander wields the scythe, determined to get past the magical rose hedges. The leaves fly as Alexander tries to cut the branches faster than they can grow back together. He sees light. He's through.
Who dares enter Beast's garden?
My name is Alexander. I didn't mean to disturb your private garden.
No, and yet, monsieur, you could hardly have accidentally broken through the 3 enchanted traps of the Isle of the Beast.
I suppose it is simply my nature to break through enchanted traps.
You must be a prince, then. I know the nature of princes all too well. This face you see before you is hideous, is it not?
Well, for the face of a beast, it is really quite noble.
Ha! I'm glad you like it, for you will soon own one just like it. I, too, was once a pretty prince, caring for nothing but adventuring and rescuing fair maidens. But I rankled one too many evil hags. One dark night, I was turned into this obscenity you see before you, warped in shape and trapped on this enchanted island over 100 years ago.
Surely there is a way off this island.
Oh, surely. You broke in, did you not? And yet think, where would I go clad so eloquently as I am with this silk and this pelt? You see, my prison is also my sanctuary. You are the first to break through the barriers in lo these many years. That is, except for the druids who stole my heirloom coat of arms.
If there's any way I can help.
Help? You? I'm afraid you don't understand. The enchanted barriers were a warning and protection for you more than for me. Your prize for forcing your way past them is to join me in this dire life. By the laws of this sorcery, you are doomed to be trapped in the form of a beast. Your reward for broaching this garden is to be my slave, a slave as beastly as I am. You have only a few hours of humanity left.
But that's not possible. There must be some way to break the enchantment. Spells always have a weakness somewhere.
The enchantment you are under is tied to my own. Oh, the sorceress left me a way out. But I'm afraid it was only her final bitter joke. You see, I need only find a maiden to join me here, to share my castle, my life, willingly. Take another look at me. You can't help but admire the hag's terrible cruelty and cunning.
I shall try to find such a maid, for Casima's sake.
Truly? How determined of you. I personally would not waste my last few hours as a man on an impossible errand. However, you may do as you please. I give you this token. It's my family ring, and the only heirloom I have left. If perchance you should... if you think you have found a maid...
I shall give her this ring.
Yes, she must accept it of her own free will. By doing so, she accepts me. Not that you shall find anyone, mind you. Your time is short. Count the minutes on your fingers while your fingers you have, pretty prince. Your master will await you.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looks closely at the items on the counter to make his selection.
That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it.
Very good, Prince Alex. It is always a pleasure doing business with you. Enjoy the mechanical nightingale and feel free to bring it back anytime.
Thank you. Pardon me, maid. I hope you don't think me forward, but I see that you like roses. I thought you might, perhaps, like a fresh white rose.
Alexander can see the conflict in the girl's pretty face as she fights between her distrust of him and her desire for the white rose. The rose wins.
Oh, I shouldn't, sir, but it is so lovely. I've never seen a rose of white. It looks so pale and delicate. Wherever did you find one of such a color?
There are many hedges of them on the Isle of the Beast, and they grow together like magic.
Oh, truly? What an adventure that must be to see them. But I should not speak so, especially to a stranger. Thank you for the rose, though, kind sir.
Alexander has a thought about the serving girl. He decides to bring up the subject of Beast with her.
Let me tell you about the place where the white roses grow. The Isle of the Beast is an enchanted place. There's a path running through a deep forest. The path crosses 3 magic blockades, set to keep all visitors away. At the center lives a tremendous beast.
Really? Magic blockades? How exciting! What kind of a beast? Is it very terrifying and ferocious?
It is a beast that walks on 2 legs and dresses like a prince. It speaks with the voice of a man.
A beast that talks and wears clothes? How is that possible? Is the beast magic too?
Not magical, enchanted. Beast was once a prince, but a witch trapped him in the form of a beast and set him on the island. There he lives in a castle in the midst of a maze.
How terrible! Imagine how lonely he must be.
It is a very lonely prospect, isn't it? Oh, I have met him, you see. He is indeed ferocious, but who would not be?
He really exists? Oh, how it breaks my heart. If I could, I would tend to such a beast. Such a beast might find comfort in a kind face. Do you not think it so?
Oh, I think it's so. I very much think it's so. You would not be afraid of him?
Afraid? Maybe at first. But how silly of me to speak so. The roses in this little yard are the only magic I will ever see.
I could take you there. In fact, I would owe you my life if you would go, if you truly wish to go.
You are serious? I could leave here? Oh, I have always dreamt of leaving, but to actually go. This is the only home I have ever known.
Home is a hard place to leave, even if you're unhappy there.
But I will go. If I can help him, I must go.
Is there nothing you wish to take with you?
There is nothing.
Then take this ring. It is his. He will be pleased if you would wear it.
Why, it's the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Thank you kindly, sir.
Beauty! Where do you think you're going?
To a place where roses grow, and to someone who truly needs me.
I see you wear my ring. You willingly agreed to spend your life here with me? Do you know what that means?
Yes, my lord, I do. I have been touched by your story.
Pity alone need not sentence you to endure this face.
Oh, but it is a gentle face, and kind.
You look at me so sweetly and are not repulsed.
Oh, by the light of your eyes, my spirit soars! The enchantment! It is broken!
I am pleased to have served you, my lord. Do you still wish me to stay?
What? Speak not such nonsense, Beauty. Do you think that I learned nothing of true love during my time here? You are my queen.
Oh, my clothes! This gown!
How well it suits your noble heart.
Alexander, how can I ever repay you? I have nothing to offer except my gratitude. But please, take these old clothes. Perhaps you'll find someone in need during your travels.
You have already repaid me by your example of courage, Beauty, and by your friendship, I hope.
You will always have our friendship and loyalty, Prince Alexander. But from a fellow adventurer, take some advice. If you find your true love, protect her with your life. Fear all beasts without the redeeming humanity of love. And to aid you, accept my mirror. Now that my life is no longer hung in false shadows, I have no need for it. Give it to someone with nothing to fear from the truth it reveals.
Thank you. I wish you both well.
Come, beauty. Let me take you home.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. A group of serving women approach the castle.
Aye, Gruff! Get a move on there, wenches! There's plenty of work left to do before the wedding!
Yes, Sergeant Gruff.
Those serving wenches are always late!
Taking his cue from the serving women he's seen enter the castle, Alexander decides to try a few alterations to make himself more acceptable to the guards. He ducks into the little hut to put on Beauty's clothes. Feeling a little foolish, Alexander slips Beauty's old slave clothes on over his own. Imagine if Cosima saw him like this.
Well, here we go.
You there! Girl! You're late! Get a move on before the Wazir sees you!
Yes!
Yes, sir.
The castle guards lock the main entrance doors behind Alexander. From the open door comes the clatter of pots and pans, yelled instructions, and other busy kitchen noises.
Girl, don't just stand there. There's a stack of silver almost to the ceiling that needs polishing for the wedding. Get a move on!
Phew. I can't afford to get caught up in that mess. I'd never find Cosima.
By Cerebus collar, I'll be glad when this wedding is over. Bay, I'm getting mighty tired of this patrol. It's wearied me to the bones.
I couldn't agree with you more, Wolf. Who'd have thought we'd ever have to listen to Princess Cosima crying all day long? and be ordered to ignore it yet.
Something sticks in my craw about the whole thing. The Wazir says that the princess is not herself. Says she's half mad with grief over her parents' death. I can see it. The poor mite. But still.
I agree. It seems cruel to lock her up when she's so heartbroken. Let her out in the fresh air, I say. It'll do her a world of good.
Aye. Well, she insisted on the mourning period, and it's up today. Thank the stars.
It's too bad we couldn't find that nightingale of hers. The Wazir says she's been pining for it.
Humph! If I had an ounce of luck, I'd have found it weeks ago. Not only would it cheer up the princess, but the reward the Wazir's offered for it would make me pretty happy too, doggone it.
Oh, well, our luck will definitely be out if the Wazir catches us snapping our jaws at our post.
Sorry, Wolf. I'll keep my muzzle shut.
Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it strategically on the floor of the upstairs hallway. Alexander ducks behind the pillar.
Look at this, Wolf! A metal bird!
Sure is, Bay. How do you suppose a metal bird got in here?
You got me, but there's something weird about it. Hey, could this be Casima's nightingale, do you think?
What, you lapdog? The princess's nightingale isn't some tin thing.
How do you know? Have you seen it?
Well, no, but...
I don't know, Bay. Humans can be pretty strange. With their sense of smell, maybe she wouldn't even know it wasn't real. I say we take it downstairs to Captain Saladin. He'll know what to do with it.
What about our post?
Jowls and Mite are in the other hallway. They can handle it for 5 minutes. Think about how happy the princess would be to get her nightingale back. And then there's that reward money and my missus.
Right, Wolf. Let's go.
Alexander checks behind the portrait. Alexander pulls the nail out of the wall and keeps it. Alexander hears the muffled sound of crying coming from the back hallway. The crying is louder here. It seems to be coming from the doorway on the north wall.
Hello? Is there someone in there?
Who's there?
Casima, is that you? It's Alexander.
Alexander? Prince Alexander? I don't believe you.
It is Alexander, Casima. I sailed here to see you, and the ship sank and... Casima, just tell me what to do. How can I help you? Do you want me to get you out of there?
If you really are Alexander, please, you must get away from here. There are guards everywhere, and the Wazir would have you killed if he found you here.
But what about you? I can't just leave you locked up like this.
The only way out for me is to stop the Wazir. See what you can do out there. In the meantime, I should be safe enough. He hasn't harmed me yet. Besides, if I can get my hands on something with which to defend myself, I'm pretty sure I'll get a chance to use it. The Wazir feels safe around me. No one else can get that close.
You're so brave, Princess. But it's too dangerous.
Have you forgotten where we met? What is Abdul compared to Mordak? I'll be fine. Now go!
Alexander hesitates.
I'll do as you say. I will find some way to help you, Casima. I swear it.
I believe you, Alexander. Please, be careful.
Casima, take this small dagger. It's not much, but perhaps it will prove useful to you.
Oh, thank you, Alexander. I'm sure it will help.
Alexander finds the hallway door unlocked and slips inside. Alexander wiggles the nail in the trunk's lock until he hears a click. Alexander opens the trunk. Alexander picks up the most recent letter and examines it. The letter is addressed to Abdul al-Hazred from the wizard Shadrach. It reads, "Greetings to a brother of the Black Cloak. I was sorry to hear of great Mordak's death, though he was a bit of a ninny at chess. It seems the plans for that little kingdom of yours are coming along. I must congratulate you on your handling of the king and queen. Isolating the island so that no protest could develop was another brilliant stroke. It looks like there's not much left to stand in your way. Do as I recommended with the girl, and you shall have your crown."
That fiend!
Alexander hears the guards approaching from the stairs. Alexander puts the nail back into the wall. Alexander puts the heavy portrait back on the wall.
If you didn't have the brain of a cat wolf, you'd have known that mechanical nightingale wasn't Casima's nightingale.
I was all for staying on patrol, but you wanted to show that thing to Saladin.
Well, at least the captain wasn't too mad. He's a good honest dog, Saladin is.
I, wish the same could be said for our...
Hush! Do you want to be dazzled, you fool?
Somewhere nearby, a door opens.
Greetings, Shamir, sir.
A petulant voice snaps a response at the guards.
The wedding is about to begin. Make sure everything is secure.
Yes, sir.
Footsteps retreat down the hall towards the back hallway. Alexander hears the distant sounds of chains rattling. A door opens. There's a small commotion and a woman's sharp cry.
Casima!
Gradually, the sounds fade away off to the east. All is silent.
If it weren't for him being the Wazir's page and all, I'd have something to say about that. Wonder where he's taking her. The wedding's the other way.
You never know with that one. He's always showing up when he shouldn't be and going where he oughtn't. Let's go check it out.
The guard dogs seem to have stopped at the back hallway. From downstairs, Alexander hears the first wafting strains of music. It's beautiful music. It's wedding music. Alexander looks cautiously around the grand hall, but there are no guard dogs to be seen. The wedding music is coming from behind those two large doors.
You must be the foreigner the Wazir warned me about. I've standing orders to kill you on sight. I'll give you 5 seconds to explain what you're doing here. I warn you, it had better be good.
Wait. If you love your princess, you'll hear me out. The Wazir is not what he appears to be. Cassima is in terrible danger. I have proof that this is so. For your princess's sake, you must believe me.
Let me see that.
Saladin reads the letter, his sword point still against Alexander's throat. Alexander watches the guard dog's noble face darken with rage.
This is treason. I'll have his throat. But how do I know this letter is not a forgery? You could have written this yourself.
But I did not. Have you no doubts of your own about Al-Hazred? Don't you see? All he wants is the crown. Cassima is being coerced. We must stop the wedding.
It is true. I have had my suspicions about the Wazir, especially when King Califim and Queen Alaria died. But I have seen Cassima with him several times. She appears to be quite happy, even enthusiastic. I don't believe she could love him if he truly were so wicked.
I cannot believe for a moment that she loves that snake.
Then see for yourself.
The captain of the guard leads Alexander into the throne room, where a ceremony seems to be in progress. Alexander feels his blood run cold at the sight.
I, Cassima, declare Abdul al-Hazred as my lawful and beloved husband and king of this realm.
But, Cassima, what are you saying?
Do you still claim that the princess is being forced? Perhaps it's you that's the danger, as the Wazir has said.
Alexander approaches the wedding party.
Prince Alexander here? This is an outrage! How dare you allow this traitor to get past you, Saladin? You stupid mutt! Can't you even keep the castle free of assassins during your own princess's wedding? Kill him! Kill him now!
Lord Al-Hazred, with all due respect, you are not quite king yet. And this is a wedding ceremony, not an execution.
What? How dare you contradict me, you flea-bitten mongrel! I gave a direct order. Obey me, or feel my wrath.
Milady, I apologize for my behavior, but I am yours to command in all things. I wanted merely to hear your own wishes from your own lips. Tell me what it is that you wish me to do with this young man, and I will obey.
Why, Captain, you heard my dear Abdul. If he wishes this atrocious young man's death, then I want nothing more than to see him get his wish. Obey thy liege now and always.
As you wish, Princess.
Look into this mirror, my love, and show us your true heart.
That mirror? No!
The lovely image of Cassima suddenly bursts into smoke and is replaced by the Wazir's genie.
Shamir, you fool!
It's not my fault, Master! The illusion was broken!
Treason! What have you done with the princess?
Enraged, Saladin and the other guard dogs begin advancing on the Wazir.
You worthless genie! Do something!
Alexander, be careful. Al-Hazard has a sword.
Shut up, wench! Shamir Shamazel! Get in here!
Here I am, Master!
It's about time, you bumbling fool! How could you let him follow me?
Well, there were the guard dogs, Master, and then...
Never mind! Just kill him! Kill him now!
As you wish, Master. Razzle, dazzle, snap and snazzle!
Look what I have here, my friend. Peppermint. Nice fresh peppermint.
Razzle, dazzle...
Forget the stupid peppermint. Don't you dare even think about it.
Mint!
Oh no, not now! Do something! Shamir Shamazel! Kill him!
Send a small... a ball of... light to frazzle.
Dazzle Ball goes wild.
Oh.
You killed my genie. You idiot! Don't you know how valuable he was, you fool? I'll kill you myself for that outrage.
So shall it be, Al-Hazred. I'm ready.
Inspiration, Alexander fixes upon the only weapon in sight.
Zounds! This sword must weigh a ton.
Good. Then you shall only fail sooner, my prince. So, the mouse would bite?
This mouse shall bite, as you shall soon see. Or should I say, soon feel?
You can barely lift that sword, my prince. Better to lay it down now. I promise to dispatch you with little pain.
A tempting offer, but I think I'll wait and see what this sword can do.
Suit yourself.
Alexander's arms start to tremble under the effort of wielding the huge sword. His muscles are nearing exhaustion.
Ha! And so it ends.
Not if I can help it, you murderer!
Cosima thrusts the small dagger into Alhazred's shoulder with all her might.
Ah! You dare raise a finger to me? You will regret that, princess.
Alexander sees no use.
Cosima! Are you all right?
I'm fine, Alexander. I was just so afraid for you.
There's no need to fear anymore, Princess.
Yes, I know. How can I ever repay you? For myself, for my kingdom.
It was not in me to let harm come to you. Can you find it in you, Princess, to give me more than your gratitude?
Alexander, what are you saying?
I love you, Cosima. Would you ever consider... Do you think you could... marry me?
Could you ever have doubted it, my prince?
Ahem.
Oh! Guards!
Princess Cosima, are you well?
I'm quite well, thank you. Please take Abdul and put him in the dungeon. See to it that he gets a doctor.
Yes, Majesty.
Cosima and Alexander ask Captain Saladin to perform their wedding ceremony. Saladin is honored to do so.
On this historical day of great joy in the land of the Green Isles, we witness the union of Cosima, beloved princess of this realm, and Alexander, Prince of Daventry. Do you, Prince Alexander of Daventry, take Princess Cosima to be your wife, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
And do you, Princess Cosima of the land of the Green Isles, take Prince Alexander to be your husband, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you have a ring?
I'm afraid I left my insignia ring in the pawn shop.
That's all right, Alexander. We'll get one later.
Well, I guess we'll skip the ring. Who gives this bride to be wed?
That would be me! In the name of King Caliphim, beloved friend, I give his daughter Cosima in wedlock.
Thank you, Jalo.
Since the groom has no family present, I will speak on his behalf. Alexander, your union with this woman is sanctioned and recognized in the eyes of the community.
Thank you, Saladin.
Then, Alexander and Cosima, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Excuse my interrupting your joy, but I have an important question for the new bride and groom.
What is it, Saladin?
Alexander, Alhazred hurt this little kingdom nearly to the point of destroying all that we stand for. But you are true and good, and have proven yourself to all the people.
Thank you, Captain.
King Caliphim and Queen Ilaria are gone, and can never be restored. Alhazred has, thankfully, been banished. But we are leaderless. I believe you too can heal this small kingdom from all the damage that Alhazred has inflicted upon it. Will you two, Alexander and Cassima, consider becoming the ruling king and queen?
Why, I'm honored. What do you think, Cassima?
I love my homeland, Alexander. I would be happy to stay and serve it all my days.
I wish my father were here so that I could ask his advice. I will miss him, and my mother and sister, and Daventry. But I love you, Cassima, and I do feel at home here. Somehow this land and I seem to suit each other. I don't know what kind of king I'll make, but I accept.
Oh, Alexander, I'm so happy. If only my parents could have been alive to see this day, my joy would be complete.
I'm sorry I could not spare you that grief, beloved.
King Alexander, there is a long road ahead. The ferry must be repaired before we can reunite the islands. Unfortunately, the islands are still feuding. It will take some time and great diplomacy to convince them to reunite and stop fighting each other.
Yes, Alexander. We will have to try to discover how Alhazred managed to make them hate each other so that we can undo what he has done.
Now let us celebrate our good fortune. The evil that has plagued this land is done, and a new reign begins. Long live King Alexander and Queen Cassima.
Long live King Alexander! Long live Queen Cassima! Long live the land of the Green Isles!